What's up?
Hey,
Welcome to Coaching
hey.
Connection, episode 3. Episode 3. Welcome back for yet another episode. Obviously, we took some time off. We had to really focus on our mental, and that
Woo.
definitely needed. That's something that we really stress here at Culture Connection. We got to take care of ourselves before we try to be Superman and Superwoman and do pretty much everything that we possibly cannot do. As you see, we are missing one today. Khalil is not able to make it with us tonight due to a family matter, but he sends his thoughts to us as well as his love. So we're going to send those thoughts, loves, and prayers back to him as well.
We love
So
you.
let's see if it'll do it this time.
Oh, it did it. We love you,
Yeah.
Khalil.
All right, so we're gonna switch up the order a little bit. We're gonna start out with my segment, which is again rhythm, reels, and runway, where we focus on the latest music, fashion, as well as movies. All right, so let's go ahead on and jump into it. Obviously, the last time that we were meeting, we didn't get a chance to speak on the Super Bowl
Right.
performance by Kendrick Lamar. But what were your
Woo.
thoughts? What were your thoughts?
Baby, listen. Y'all already know. You know I'm a nerd for real. Like you see my glasses today. So you know I'm a nerd. So and I look at the bigger picture and everything. So before I
Hmm.
even looked on social media, I just looked at the straight performance. And
Right.
I'm just like, this and I made a post in it. Oh boy, I had some hatred coming my way.
Uh-huh.
Because I just feel like, that performance was so much more than an entertainment performance. Like I get it's an
Hmm.
entertainment piece, but for me and dealing with what's going on in the world today and knowing that like Donald Trump was like, oh, he better not perform this, baby.
Right.
Listen,
Right.
right place, wrong guy, just like he said.
Yeah.
And for me, it was just like I looked at it, the bigger picture, everything, all the innuendos
Hmm.
from him doing it. It was supposed to be like a prison yard, and then it had like the Squid Games little segment, like the rich killing the poor. Then it had like
Yeah.
even a shout out to Uncle Sam, like And then he had like a little post where he said it was a song he had where he lost like 16 friends or something.
Hmm.
And so
Hmm.
that's what those guys were, representing. Then I'm gonna tell you what a big piece that a lot of people miss. Kendrick Lamar always does something for the disabled. And
Right.
so what a lot of people looked over is when he had the people that was dressed like in the red, white, and blue for the flag, representing the flag, like yeah, he separated the flag, showing the world divided. But
Hmm.
it was spelling out Compton in Braille for the
Oh,
hearing. Like a lot of people
yeah.
didn't even peep that. And it spelled
Uh,
out Compton in Braille. So I
yeah.
just think like I'm not even a Kendrick fan by per se.
Hmm.
Like I'm not one to go download an album, but
Right.
I just think that was just pure genius. Like and lo and behold, like I love Wayne to death. Like
Yeah.
everybody that know me know I'm from the 99 to the 2000 Wayne. Like
Right. Right.
he was up on my wall. My daddy couldn't stand it, boy. But yeah,
Yeah. It was literally the
and
same
he
for
did
me.
what he
Like
did.
I felt that the performance went over a lot of people's heads. Me being the people. Because watching it live, I was like, what is happening? And then I
Yeah.
did not realize the significance behind it until I
Mhm.
start reading people's social media accounts and
Right.
seeing comments. And I was like, this man is a genius. Like
Right.
he's always been one of my favorite artists lyrically, but
Mhm. Yeah, and
the
he's a lyricist. That's what people don't understand.
yeah, like
Rapping,
this was more than
lyrics,
just a Super Bowl performance. It was a statement, and
everything.
I truly feel that he did what needed to be done.
Right.
Um, so yeah, shout out to Kendrick. If you're a
Absolutely.
Drake fan, sorry about that.
I mean, and I
Moving
love
on.
Drake. Like I like old school Drake. Like I don't know who this guy is now and want to have like fake beef with everybody, but
Yeah,
like I
I
love Drake.
personally I've never
He
been
just
a
needs to
Drake
sit
fan.
down.
Yeah, I've never really been a Drake fan, so I mean, seeing obviously you don't want to wish beef on no one, but you
Yeah,
know,
because it's challenge.
is one of my favorite artists. Like I said,
Yeah.
lyrically, I gotta go with Kendrick, of course. All right,
Yeah.
so moving on. So this past Tuesday, rapper ASAP Rocky was found not guilty on
Come
his
on.
felony counts of using a gun. allegedly to potentially shoot, I believe it's ASAP Rally back in 2021. So they they pretty much came from the same mob, I guess you can call it, ASAP mob,
Yeah,
which
it's
was
out of
founded. Yeah, which was founded back in 2006 in Harlem, New York. But
mm-hmm.
since everything has took place, ASAP really doesn't affiliate himself with the mob anymore. But however, ASAP Rocky does. Um,
Right.
when we think about ASAP Rocky, I'm trying to make sure I get my R's right. When we think
Listen.
about ASAP Rocky and then we think about Rihanna, obviously they have two kids together. I believe
Right.
RZA and Riot. So I'm just happy for them that they were able to, get the not guilty
Get
vote
their family
because
together.
he could have gone away for a very long time, and that would not have been good for the kids. That's all I kept thinking about during the time. Like obviously Rihanna, yes, but she can manage. But when you think about the two
Because he's
youngest
a
kids,
stay-at-home dad. Hello.
yeah. So at this point, she took to Instagram and she made a post and it stated, "To God be the glory and God alone. I'm thankful and humble for his mercy. So many blessings have occurred, and I want to be able to make sure that I give God all the praise during this moment." So
I know that.
she made sure, Rihanna showed that side, which a lot of people don't see. They know obviously she's spiritual, but she really
Absolutely.
doesn't post a lot about, the goodness of the Lord. Amen. But she did in this time, and this was the perfect time to do so, as her, baby daddy is free.
And the way he leaped, let me tell you, the reels took me out. Like everybody
Yeah,
portraying him leaping over the
yeah,
phone. People,
yes,
but I
yeah.
get it. It's
Oh
just
shit,
like because that's your life, that's your livelihood, your
right?
family. Like I'm so glad because it's so many times that they try to portray, these black families as broken black families, and you really never see anything negative about their family. Like
Yeah.
she post anything about the family as is, but that was crazy. So I'm
Hmm.
glad it worked out in his favor. I'm glad it's not another broken home. I'm glad. I'm happy
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah, so definitely blessings to them as they continue to move forward with their family. And, we hope that they can put this behind them. And it's not one of those things that can resurface in the future and he has to go back to court because they've been going through this for a
Oh
while. And
wow.
honestly, with the system and how it is nowadays, I did not anticipate a not guilty verdict. So we're
Yeah.
just glad that he was able to, come out on top. And last but not least, for the rhythm portion, obviously music, we got to talk about Beyonce, Giselle, Knowles Carter, and the people are raging. The people are raging over her constant drops of merchandises and products. So recently, she decided that she wanted to drop a Cowboy Carter tour. So when we think about the Cowboy Carter tour, those ticket prices are ranging from $91, which is probably outside in the parking lot, to $3,000, which is probably still not near her on
Oh,
stage.
that's the
But
200.
not only that, she also has decided to release a new perfume fragrance. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it because the Beehive will come after me because I got it wrong, but it sounds legit. And then she also has released Sacred, which is now debuted in Ulta Beauty stores. So she's constantly dropping new merchandises, new products, new tours, and the people are upset. So I'm gonna just read to you some of these comments.
Good, because I'm gonna
So
tell you why I'm upset. As a hairstylist, I'm gonna let you go
yeah,
ahead. Tell you why I'm upset, Miss Sacred.
yeah.
Honeybees,
So
don't
what?
come for me. I'm just saying.
Listen, one of the comments read, and they literally said, "Read the room, Beyonce. We are all broke." Somebody else said, "Girl, I love you, but you always asking for money." Somebody else said, "Now, Giselle, don't you know that eggs are $87 each?" That's the one that took me out. $87 each, and she out here doing all of this. And then they said,
Listen,
"Respectfully, leave us alone for a little bit. I just fought for my life to watch you hoot and holler on stage. now is not the time with love. So I guess my question to you is, like you said, as a hairstylist, one of the things that she is really kind of marketing herself with is like combs, brushes, shampoos, conditioners, all of that. So do you think
Ding,
what
ding,
she's
ding,
doing
ding,
is
ding.
too much?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Let me explain something. When it kind of marketing, her team is really good. But let me tell you, they go after us,
Yeah.
i.e., the regular folks, i.e., the. I don't like to call myself broke. I like to call myself in between blessings, but I'm stable. I'm gonna say that.
Right.
I guess I consider middle class
Uh-huh.
American.
Come on, middle
But
class.
you t- you see where
How
you
they do
live.
it?
I worked my way up, baby. 5 years
Indeed.
straight. Hmm. But yeah, like I consider myself middle class American, and even in the middle class, it's still. And I'm on a single income household. You hear me?
Hmm.
Like do it all by myself, single mother. I mean,
Yeah.
shout out to my boo, but like as a single household, and you coming out with these prices, like she's marketing to exactly who will be crazy enough to go do it. These people went
Hmm.
broke
Hmm.
last tour, maxed out credit cards, got rid of
Yes.
homes, did this, did that. To like, what are you doing to your people? If you really like, we know your worth, but
Right.
you know what you're doing. You're marketing to our audience who more than half of them can't afford to go, but they're gonna do whatever they
Hmm.
like. I feel like it's a cult. I used to love Beyonce back in the day when she was a part of Destiny's Child. I used to love
Right.
Beyonce probably up into the number 4 album, and then
Okay.
that's when she started losing me. But like I haven't downloaded a whole album from her probably since
Hmm.
4, maybe Lemonade, but she was a little too angry for me. And then
Hmm.
it was just like
Right.
these prices. So you got your perfume, cool. Then you got your hair care line, and it's cool. I love that she is marketing to the natural hair care line because it's more than just a fad. But most of
Hmm.
the time, she's wearing weave, so it's just like if you gonna market your hair care line, wear your natural hair out, baby. Like your hair touch your butt almost.
Yeah.
I
That's what I was
get,
just about to say. Her hair is
yeah,
actually
her hair is
good.
long, like and healthy. So
Yeah.
I get granted, like with black people here as a performer, it's gonna frizz up. So I get you get your extensions, you get your units,
Hmm.
but I'm hair through and through.
Hmm.
I'm all good. I'm all down for a good hat.
Yeah.
However, if you're marketing sacred, is that what it's called? Sacred. If you're
Yeah.
marketing that, yeah, it's like to your natural hair girlies. You want to make sure like you wearing your product at all time. Like yeah, you using it and then you throwing it under a cap for a protective style. But
Hmm.
I think I'm gonna tell you, what ticked me off, and my my cousin kind of had hit me like, how much are these combs in the beauty supply store
Yeah.
without the name on it? And I'm like, you can get that wide tooth comb anywhere from $1 to $5, depending on where you live,
Hmm.
depending on demographics, depending on what type of store it is. Like if it's just
Yeah.
like a hood store around the way, that comb will be $1, and it's gonna
Yeah.
last you some years. I
For
got a couple
sure.
of big wide tooth combs, and they've lasted me years. Don't break.
Yeah.
But because her name and her brand is on it, she is charging
Hmm.
$24
Yep.
for a comb. I think not.
Not.
Like I've been
Yeah.
in business for 22 years. I think not. Now I'm all for spending money on a great product that's good
Hmm.
for the brand, good for if it support us, I'ma support us. But I just feel like that's just outright and
Yeah.
greedy.
Yeah. I
Is
definitely agree. And it's unfortunate because all of the people that's under the comments, I guarantee you, they're still going to the show. And
Absolutely. They're gonna
that's
complain and they still gonna go.
they are still gonna go. And she's very strategic about when she releases it. She always releases this kind of stuff around tax time,
Tax time. So she
knowing
know who
everybody
and
get
they
ready to spend
going.
their last dollar. What that woman say, I'll just watch you hoop and holler. I ain't never heard somebody. It's been a minute since I heard hoop and holler.
Who in
So
Harlem, right on
she
Amazon
meant
Prime.
that. She meant that for sure, for sure. So if you
Yeah.
have already purchased your Cowboy Carter tickets, shout out to you. I
Kudos
ain't,
to you. Maybe it ain't in
I
my
ain't
budget.
yeah, I'm gonna be one of the ones who catch the tour from somebody's
When it come out
live
in the movie theater.
YouTube movies.
TikTok.
somewhere because she's probably gonna do a documentary. So
Right,
I'll catch
because
it there and get my money's worth.
hello.
So yeah.
Oh.
So that closes the rhythm section. Now let's move on to the reels. So the reels section is going to focus on the two top movies that are currently playing in the United States. So Captain America debuted on Valentine's Day and it has already grossed a total of $89 million opening weekend. And since that, it has grossed a total of $110 million. So the film features Sam Wilson, who is the new Captain America. He finds himself in the middle of an international incident and must discover the motive behind a global plan.
I
So
can't.
now the other movie is Paddington in Peru. First of all, are you familiar with Paddington?
The bear.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me tell you real quick because I was sick on Valentine's Day weekend, so I ain't get. Now I'm a huge
Right.
like Marvel fan anyway, so I'm
Yeah.
late to the party. That I might go see that Tuesday.
Gotcha.
But yeah, and just in case y'all don't know, if you in the Raleigh, Raleigh Durham area, if you
Mhm.
go over to Fenton, it's $5 on Tuesdays. Hello.
I didn't know
So
that.
yep, and they got the little lean back seats when they deliver your food to you. Okay,
Yeah.
so Fenton for $5 on Tuesday. But yeah,
That's
so
dope.
I plan on going to see both of those. But I'm gonna tell you why it's funny because Valentine's Day weekend I was sick as a dog, and
Yeah.
even though I was with Bay, I had my moment of laying up with it because we had all the kids over, and so the
Mhm.
kids was watching Paddington Bear. So we just binge watching all the old ones, and I
True.
didn't
Yeah.
even know the new one came out. So we gonna go see it.
Yes. It has.
I love it.
I hadn't I used to read like Paddington books,
Me
but I
too.
didn't even know they had already made him into a whole like movie character. So this
Yeah, you
Paddington
watch
in
the old
Peru, yeah, I have not seen the old ones or anything. So to
one.
hear that
It's the
there's a new
movie.
one out, I'm like, okay, yeah, I got to catch up on it. But it
Yeah,
also
'cause I like
debuted
two
on
of them.
Valentine's Day, and it grossed a total of $13 million opening weekend, and since
Oh.
has grossed $18 million. In this film, Paddington the bear returns to Peru to visit his beloved Aunt Lucy, who now resides
Oh,
at a home for retired bears. With the
and
Brown
see, that's what
family
I
in
was.
a tow, and a thrilling adventure occurs when a mystery plunges into an unexpected journey. So I'm kind of curious to see what Paddington
That's
is
why
doing
you gotta watch
in
the
Peru.
first one.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, 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 yeah,
You
yeah.
have to watch the
Yeah.
first two because then you will really get hip about like Aunt Lucy is like I guess well, I can't tell you. Dang. But I mean if you
The
read the
fact
book,
that
you
you
know
know
both of
Aunt
them
Lucy.
die or whatever. So
Yeah.
Aunt Lucy is like his last remaining relative or whatever. And so
Oh,
she's
that.
telling him like, basically the first movie is based on how he ended up in London. And
Okay.
so that's the whole journey about how he ended up in London and when he ended up with his how he found his family. And then the
Mm-hmm.
second one like follow up to that. And
Got.
so it's crazy that this one is taking him back the way it all began. It's like a whole
Mm-hmm.
360. So I'm excited. At my big age, I'm excited to see that.
Excited. That's what's
Oh,
up. I
for
gotta,
real.
I'm gonna catch up on it, and then we'll be
Mm-hmm.
able to talk a little bit more about
Yeah.
old
We gonna have to
Paddington.
do that.
Pat.
Definitely.
All right, so moving on. I did want to give everybody, we're going to move on to the runway phase and then we're going to close this thing on out. So I did want to give everybody a update on Timu and Shein. So um,
Who's
the last time that we were together, we talked about how Shein and Timu products were pretty much going to come to a stop due
a
to,
poet? Mm-hmm.
due to that president of
Yeah.
y'all's.
Tariffs.
Since then, Shein U.S. sales has fallen between 16 and 41%, while
Right.
Temu has noticed a fall as much as 32%. So last year, according to the PDD Holdings Incorporation, companies including Shein and Temu, they pretty much shipped out a total of $46 billion worth of small parcels to the U.S. So seeing this sale decrease is not really concerning to them. They almost
Right.
consider it like the fall when Christmas, after Christmas happens. Like nobody really purchases things after Christmas, but then they begin seeing a spike the closer it gets to the
That's time.
spring. summer. So they're not really concerned with that. I know for myself, I actually just recently got a Sheen delivery and it came a lot quicker than usual. You know, for me it's usually like 10 to 12 days, but this came
Yeah.
within 4 to 5 and I'm like it
And remember,
wasn't.
I told you, depending on where it's coming from, it might come
Yeah.
faster than what they say. And
Yeah,
you
so
know,
I was really shocked to see that because it
yeah.
actually had a delivery date of March the 8th. So I was like,
Mhm.
okay, I wasn't really expecting to get it as soon as I did. So I was
Yeah.
definitely glad. So shout out to them for still pushing out their products as swiftly as they are.
Right.
And you know, last but not least, I don't know if you seen Kiki Palmer, but you know, hello to Kiki and Kiki only because her American Black Film Festival dress,
My
gown,
girl.
whatever it was, that
Hmm.
thing was very unique. I've never seen a dress like that. So we'll have to see if we can get like a photo of it to pop on the screen. But pretty much
Hmm.
it was the top looked almost like a suit jacket
Yeah.
and they just made it into a dress. I can't even explain it fully. You just gonna have to look at the picture. But
Yeah.
I've
We
never
got.
seen anything like that before. Did you see it?
I saw it on, I want to say Instagram, and I'm just like, only Kiki.
That
Only
and I'm
Kiki is
so
that
happy
thing.
for her. I'm really
Hmm.
happy for her because for a while, you know, Kiki was one of those individuals who stayed in like this kitty phase. But I
Yeah.
think
She
her being a
fit the
mom,
brown.
yeah, her being a mom now, she has like multiple talk shows that she is a part of, one being a game show. Like she is killing it and I'm just glad
Mhm.
to see the adult her. She has
Yeah.
also mentioned that she wanted to drop the name Kiki because it has that kitty
Yeah. That
feel
double
to
neck.
it. Yeah,
Hmm.
and she's wanting to now go by her real name. So we're gonna see if if the community and the world receives her as her real name. But she'll always be Aquila to me. So I
Not
can't see
in
her
the
past that.
B.
I gotta take it back all the way to there. I
Not
cannot
in
see
the
her
B.
past Aquila. Spell prestidigitation. And she
Not that.
spelled it
Not a
like
whole
that.
character.
So
Not a whole
that's
character.
that's just pretty much it for me. But that wraps up my segment for tonight. So always remember the music never stops, the movies don't have to end, and our styles define who we are. And just like fashion, it is always evolving. So I will see y'all next time, and always remember that we gotta stay focused on our rhythms, reels, and runway.
Hello.
All right.
Listen to you closing out. You sound like you about to end the show. Like,
Nah, it's your turn.
I know that's real. You did that, brother. So I like the fact that just to piggyback off your, you know, everything meaning something, whatever that whole little gift of gab you was just spitting bars. I can't even tell you what you just said, but something about meaning and
Yeah,
tying the rhythm, reels, and runway together for one time for the culture. That's all I can
we
say.
gotta bring it together.
But in saying that, I want to bring up some Black History highlights, Black History Month highlights, and it's so
Black
many times
history
month
is a man.
highlights.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it was a few things like during Black History Month. You remember, like growing up, they always talk about like the people in the past. They don't never
Hmm.
really like focus on people at the present. And so, like for me, I watch a lot. Like I'm heavy on education. Like I mean it. Like I'm
Yeah.
a forever student. I say that all the time. And so, like, I saw one story about this guy. It was a Nigerian cook named
Hmm.
Harrison O'Kinney. I pray I'm not mispronouncing his name, but
Hmm.
Harrison O'Kinney, right? So back in 2013, he's still alive. I say living legend, and here's why.
Hmm.
Because Harrison O'Kinney was a cook on a submarine, and the submarine ended up capsizing, and he found an air pocket, and he was the only survivor off that submarine in 2013. And so moving forward, he ended up like he survived. So like the sharks, they ate all the crew. Like everybody got ate up but him.
Yeah.
So on the third day, they ended up coming and rescuing him. And so now he teaches deep sea diving and rescue classes. And I just think that's so big because you rarely hear about moments in Black history where we coming out on
Hmm.
top.
Hmm.
But Nigerian cook on the ship,
Yeah.
only one that made it. I feel like he deserved kudos. Like people should know more about the
Yeah.
people that's out there now. And so he's
Mm-hmm.
giving back by teaching the very thing that saved his life.
That
Um,
is dope.
and it dope. Like how do you who
Yeah.
would think? And then the whole thing is flipped upside down. Where's Khalil without Bill? But the
Yeah.
whole thing is flipped upside down, and you find an air pocket to survive in for 3 days. You fighting hypothermia, and
Yes.
coming in and out the boat, like, and you just up there sucking up air.
Could. Yeah, my
And
anxiety would
like
not
I
have
would have,
allowed that.
so you under the ocean.
Yes.
Baby, I'd panic. But I just feel
That's
like
strike
people like
one.
that should be recognized. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then also I was watching, I want to say it might have been The View, and Amanda Seals. Like a lot of people give my girl grief, but when I tell you sis is educated.
Yeah.
And so somebody, I want to say Jeannie Mai, I don't even know how she finessed her way on the show. But Jeannie Mai, she was basically talking about the DAP. And so I was gonna say Amanda Bynes, Lord, think about Nickelodeon. Amanda Seals had really like gave the rundown on the DAP. And so that's a huge factor in Black history because
Yeah.
people don't know like the DAP just not a handshake, but it's something that Black soldiers started doing Vietnam as a way, like that's doing the I'm Black and I'm Proud movement. But that was a way that they
Mm.
greeted each other, like, you see me, I see you, we got each other back because we Black. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
But
yeah,
it
yeah.
also stood for dignity and pride. So it's an
Mm-hmm.
acronym, but it was just, you know what I'm saying, a way that they all identify with each other, like, I got your back, bruh.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's a lot of people don't know. So when we got these different variations of dapping each other up, they don't
True.
understand this like real history behind the dap.
Wow.
So I just
Yeah. It's something similar to what I actually just spoke to my staff about because I wanted to pretty much highlight individuals outside of Martin
Mhm.
Luther King, Rosa Parks. So
Yeah,
that's
the
what we're going to do
everyday.
next week. Yeah, we're doing that next week with the kids where they have to literally research people outside of the normal Black
Absolutely.
history people and, present it on the morning announcement. So I'm curious to see who they find out. And it's really going to be informative to not just myself, but the adults as well, because both of those things that you just mentioned to me, I did not know. So I'm
Really
excited to
don't.
see.
Not to know.
Yeah,
I feel
we don't
what?
have to know everything.
Nah, I mean, I get it, and it's just like, and that's why I'm like a forever learner. Like I be excited when I learn new stuff. Shout out to
Yeah,
Amanda. I mean, I knew that from taking African American studies at St. Augustine's University, but
plug.
shout out to my professor. But I did
Oh,
know that because of my previous professor at St. Augustine. So shout out to
yeah.
her. Um, but it was just a lot of things like, and even like today, my client, while I was finishing my last client, she was like, "Did you know that a Black person invented the What did she tell me? I can't remember what it was, but it was something that I use every day in the shop."
Yeah,
And like I didn't know that, but I was like, "Did you know a Black person invented that neck rest that we use on that shampoo bowl?" Oh,
that's
she was like, "For
crazy.
real?" I was like, "Listen, we always innovative and
Yeah.
trying to figure out who did what." Now I can't don't
Hmm.
quote the name. I can't think right now, but
Yeah.
yeah, a Black person invented like the neck rest. You know,
Yeah.
the hood
Didn't know that
dryer.
either.
Yeah. And so my last thing, now I want to go into community consciousness slash just under the breaking free. But I
Hmm.
want to go into community consciousness this week. Now, last week's breaking free was Black breaking the stigmas of
Hmm.
mental health in the Black community. But this week I want to focus on community consciousness. And when I
Right.
say this, like I grew up during a time, like I grew up '80s, late '80s, early '90s, and I
Hmm.
remember when like the village raised your family, but my family was
Yes.
huge. We were the village. But
Yeah.
I remember like our neighbors, they look out for you when you outside. Everybody looked out for each other, kids.
Absolutely.
Like adults could correct children and it wouldn't be, don't say nothing to my child. Like, and I'm
Hmm.
still like, especially if I know that person is coming from a good space, correct mine
Right.
when you see mine doing wrong.
Right.
A child stay in a child place. Like I'm very much old school, even though I'm more of a what am I, Gen Z, Gen
Mm.
X? I don't know what I am, but I
One
know
of
I'm
them.
late.
Yeah.
And I still raise my children on some of the morals standards that I was raised.
Yeah.
And so I know a lot of things that kind of bother me is like
Hmm.
two stories, first off. And both of them was ironically from Detroit or the Detroit area.
Okay.
One mom, I watched her interview thoroughly, and then I watched the interview from her children's father. So it was her mom that was homeless, and she was staying inside of her van with her children, her mom, and I think a few siblings. And they were staying in the parking lot of a casino in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Two of her children died from hypothermia. So she didn't know her oldest child, and then I think her second youngest child. She didn't
Right.
know the second child was dying because she was trying to save the oldest one. So they drove to the ambulance. I mean, they drove to the ER,
Hmm.
and she running in there trying to get somebody to come revive her child. Like, but by then he's throwing a bow. He was
Right.
gone. And so it was unfortunate because I mean she's boohoo crying. At what point does the city step in? Because speaking from somebody that was once homeless, I
Hmm.
know how humiliating that is to you use, her situation was different. Like I don't know what caused her to be homeless, but like she said, she stayed in hotels, she went to the city for assistance, etc., etc. And I know like in DC, when you are trying to get into the shelter, they literally it's so humiliating. They make you stand in the line 7 in the morning. Um,
Wow.
I went there a week straight, right?
Hmm.
And they had you call 5 people in your family or family and friends to see if you can come stay with them. And they have to hear the people say, no, you can't stay with them for whatever reason
Wow.
before they say, okay, well, I'm going to let you get into the shelter. And
That's
unfortunately,
insane.
it's in like you literally going to these people. Now I still had a job at the time, but unfortunately my house caught on fire. Didn't have
Hmm.
renters insurance. That's a whole nother story for another day. But either way, I tried to stay with family. It didn't work out, or it wasn't accessible to the metro because I no longer had a car at that point. But they make it's even more humiliating when you're trying to get assistance and they literally make you call people like they
Yeah.
sunning you. And they're like, make sure you can't go stay with this person. Make sure you can't go stay with that person. And so I understand where she come from, not just as a mom, but as a mom that been through it. To
Yeah.
know that even though the cities are different, I know them cities give you hell and those workers
It's
act
the same
like
thing.
the money is coming from them. Like it's literally we are asking you for assistance. We literally have nowhere else to go and you making us
Hmm.
jump through. So it took me probably a week and a half to get in.
Yeah.
And then once I got in, I was in. And I'm grateful for those who had looked out for me and the kids. But then
Yeah.
when we got out, I moved here and I've been on up and up ever since. Okay.
Yes.
But
Yes.
as far as for her babies died from, and Detroit winters are way more brutal than it is in the South.
Hmm.
So can you imagine like you and your baby standing and people talking about, oh, why she ain't run the heat? Carbon dioxide, carbon
Yeah.
monoxide, fumes, like you
All of
running a
that.
car in a closed space, you trying to kill everybody in the
Hmm.
car. So
Everybody. Yeah.
then it shows the interview from the dad, and it's no remorse. It was, and she was homeless for 3 months. You mean to tell me she said, oh, he said, oh, well, she asked me to get the kids, but didn't tell me why. So that's showing me right then and there,
Yeah.
you're not present. You said you haven't seen your kids in a while. You're living in a different city. Oh, well, when I was going to the gym, getting on the treadmill, you thought that was
Hmm.
important to say. So that's showing you got a little bit of coin that you can afford to go to the gym on the
Yeah.
treadmill.
Yeah.
So why you don't have your kid? Because 3 out of 4 of her children were his. So he's saying he live in a different city and why she ain't just go around the corner and ask his family. Sir, it's not your family job to take care of your
Yeah.
children. It's
Hmm.
yours.
Yep.
So if you're in a situation where you could take care of your kids and your baby mama or your kid's mother is asking you, I need you to get the kids, it shouldn't be a reason as to why
Yeah.
you need to get your kids. And after a month and a half, that should be a good enough reason.
Yep.
Get your kids. So he like, don't want to hear her sob story. I don't want to hear none of that. She didn't tell me she was homeless. After 3 months, I'm sure. And
That's,
again, I can relate because I remember asking my kid's dad, like,
yeah.
look, I want them in the shelter with me because just because we was in the shelter, baby, that was like jail. I ain't never
Yeah.
been locked up, but the
But that's
rules and
supposed to stay
regulations of that
too.
place, jail. So but it was some good souls in there that like the case manager
Oh,
and a
thank
few
you.
of like monitors. Like they really looked out for me, and it's like they looked out for me in a sense because I looked out for me. I looked out for myself.
Mm-hmm.
It was only a few of us that was in there actually working, and I was in like a smaller building. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like shout out to them because I'm still in contact with all of them, and all of them always be like, "Man, I knew you was gonna be straight because you was straight before this happened, and you really
Yeah.
bounced back." And I did, but thank you
Yeah.
God. But humbly. But I'm just saying, it just when do people begin to, when do you become human enough to say, put yourself in their shoes as a worker, as a city official, as a community? Like she literally exhausted all funds. And
Yeah.
even though, like, I seen some people saying, "Oh well, it was her and another adult." How you know her mother wasn't disabled? How you know
Mm-hmm.
she wasn't disabled? Something happened where she lost her home, and now she's asking for help and didn't get any, and now two of her children are deceased, and she facing charges.
Yeah. It goes back to what you said. Like, when would they become human? I don't think it's gonna happen until it happens to them.
To them,
Like,
you
you
right?
have to be able to live it in order to see just how far or what people go through. So
Absolutely.
not everybody's gonna get to that point.
No, and it's sad because more people are going to, be affected by that. And like with everything going on with the administration today, like we
Mhm.
probably going to be seeing a lot more of this. And it's
Yeah.
sad. Um,
Yeah.
and then that goes on to my next story. So this one is on a different end of the spectrum of community. Because I feel
Mm.
like the kids in this story, everybody failed their children, from the parents to the family to the school system to the social
Yeah.
worker. And I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah.
A mother of three is arrested, and she's out. She has a $250 million bond. Ask me why. Say why, Sherry?
Why?
Because she left her three children home alone for 5 years in a house full of garbage, feces, and she would just drop food off to them weekly. When they showed this video, it was nothing but like takeout, trash piled
Really?
up, dirty mattresses. You could
Five
see them
years?
5 years.
Why did it take so long for somebody to find them?
Cause
How
she
old were
stopped paying.
they?
Hold on, that's my question. Hello, you asking the same questions? How old were these children? Clearly, they was old enough to take care of themselves. But I'm gonna tell you why they ended up. They had to do a welfare check because she stopped paying her rent back in December. I'm sorry, October.
Yeah.
So the landlord said it was a funny smell coming out of there, and he wanted to do a welfare check, and they found them children knee high garbage.
Oh my
The
God.
community failed them, their parents, the family. I'm blaming everybody. The social worker, the school. Because at what
The
point do you
school.
realize these kids, you see these
Yeah.
kids every day? And if you don't see them every day, I know in North Carolina and in DC, if your child missed 10 days or more, they calling CPS.
That is
So let's
truancy.
just play devil's advocate and say they missed school. Y'all ain't sending nobody over there?
One or two things happened. They had the wrong address, and they were sending the truancy papers to whatever address was on file. I guarantee it was not the correct address that those kids were, because easily the social worker could have came out there. The cops would have came out there. Like, they would have had
Somebody.
to be delivered that paperwork that states that you need to appear in court. And because none of
Absolutely.
that happened, that tells me again they did not have the right address on file. But
Or if they did have the right
neighbors,
address, like that's what I'm saying. What about the neighbors, family members, like the school? Somebody,
I
a light bulb didn't go off on nobody to say like, why were these children left alone for 5 years? And so now this is where it really messed me up even more because I still say the system is failing them. So they are in custody of CPS got involved and gave them to a family member, and they're still in like. So my thing is, I wouldn't give them to no family member because these
oh
family members
yeah.
knew them kids was over there for 5 years by their daggone self. I
Uh-huh.
would give them to no I know that's the first thing they try to do to keep kids with family when they take it from with
Yeah.
CPS, unless it's a family member from the opposite side of the family that really didn't know.
Hmm.
But they was like the mom should have no contact, and she shouldn't because that's where the mental health comes in. Like, what
Yeah.
in the world possessed you to leave your children
Yeah.
for five years, Quadri?
And where did she go? Like, did she just up and like dip
What her
out?
doing? Living a whole nother life. Like, she had no children. Like, when
That
I tell you my heart hurt for these kids,
you can't even make a scenario like that up.
no, because I want to know the ages of the children. Like, it was nothing else on the story, but
Yeah.
I know I had to just put that out there because I want our followers to, like, they can follow up, see if y'all can investigate like we do. Because baby, I
Yeah.
need to follow up on this story. I promise you, it hurt me to my soul for the mother that lost her babies because now she
Yeah.
facing charges, but their daddy need to be facing charges too.
For
And
sure.
then for this mother, like they need jail or hell. It's only two places for her. Sorry.
I I hadn't even seen that. And like you said, it's a lot of unanswered questions that have to
Yeah,
I
it's so
mean,
many.
that's just for us, the public. Like we want to make sure that the kids are cool. We want to see what we can do as a community to come together and take
It's
care of them because clearly the mother wasn't doing her job, and whoever
clear.
this
Nobody else
relative
was it.
is, yeah, can't trust the relative either. Because like you
Yeah,
said, I don't know how close they are, but you think about our families in an instant.
exactly, and
Like
that's what I'm about.
you cannot go longer than a day without hearing from some of our family members. And you
I
talking
talk to
about
my brother
five
every day.
years?
5 years.
5 years.
Now I have. Now don't get me wrong, because I don't care about half of mine. But I can. I've went until my dad had his heart attack, and it's
Yeah.
probably not, but I don't have a disconnection issue. But certain family members I have not heard from in probably like 20 years. And it wasn't, unfortunately, it was when my dad had his heart attack that I finally
Hmm.
spoke to this person. I'm saying this person, my aunt. But, her children, I haven't spoken to them in over 2 decades. And I don't
Yeah.
lose no sleep. I'm cool with it.
Hmm.
But I have those family members like my brother, my aunt, my
Right.
sister, whoever. I talk to them daily or every other day, my grandma, whoever.
Hmm.
But so I can't, like, if it's a person like me who don't have disconnection issues with family,
Yeah.
but there is still someone there I speak to.
That
Because
you
if
can.
my
Yeah.
aunt don't hear from me within the week, she be like, "Oh, girl, what you thought you was grown?"
Hmm.
Or she'll call one of my kids' phone. Where your mama? She thinks she
Still
grown.
connect the dots
You know
and
what I'm
figure out ways
saying?
to get
Like,
to
she
you.
gonna talk to somebody in my house.
Yeah.
Is what? We don't go without that. Like,
That's
even with us
crazy.
though. Yeah. So I just feel like everybody feels those kids. And like I'm gonna send you I'm gonna try to plug a piece of the video in from off the news later.
Please
So you
do.
can actually see it. Because your heart is gonna hurt when you see, and it's graphic.
Yeah.
Like when I say the trash is knee high, and you can see like a whole lot of pizza delivery boxes, Popeyes boxes, or whatever takeout,
Whew.
and it's just filthy, full of
I
trash. Like they
cannot
have to
believe
kick
that.
the trash. As high as Detroit snow get, they kicking that trash in that house,
In the house.
in the house.
Yeah.
So
Please, please, please send me that
yeah,
information. Because,
because it's terrible.
yeah.
So it was just like I just wanted to get 2 cents on that. But also just like women, like I know we focused last week or the previous episode on
Hmm.
men's mental health awareness. But this week I want to focus on my girlies, like all my girls, these moms, and it's
Hmm.
especially because we focusing on the moms right now.
Yeah.
So I found another virtual therapy group. They are called the SHIP Group Behavioral Health and Community Service. They offer virtual therapy sessions and they accept Medicaid. And so I know a lot of people's barrier is always insurance. But
Hmm.
if you have Medicaid, Medicare, they do accept it. So you can
Yeah.
find them on www.tsgbh.com or on Instagram at the Ship Group BH. Again, that's www.tsgbh.com or on Instagram at the Ship Group BH. But I mean, that's really it for me. I
Yeah,
mean, I didn't mean to, you know, bring it down, but I just had to like shit. That was heavy on my heart, and it's like in this week of
true.
self care, trying to get ourselves together, and
Hmm.
doing our mental health check in. Like sometimes you got to tap in and be like, look, I am burnt out.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
like, being an entrepreneur, I am the business owner, I am the stylist, I'm the content creator, I'm the mom,
yeah,
I'm the student, I'm the podcast co-host, I'm the all these titles, the
yes.
girlfriend, and I'm like, last week was Valentine's Day, so y'all probably thought we was being lovers, but I was sick, so
Yeah,
it's like you gotta take time to heal, and I really want like all my moms, like, please tap in if you
yeah.
don't have any to talk to. Like most of my clients, they use my chair as a therapy session, and it stays there.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
like talk to somebody. New moms with this postpartum, talk to your girl group. If you don't have anybody, like listen, we here. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah, and that's a good point. Like we definitely want to name it here. There will be other times where we say, you know, oh, the post is going or the video is going to drop on this day, and if we're not feeling it, we will not force and fake it in front of anyone. So we
Absolutely
will
not.
take that time for ourselves, and you'll see Culture Connection under construction or something like that. But we
Absolutely.
are
This
going to
becoming too
always,
much.
yeah, we gotta always choose ourselves first, so then we can make sure that we are our best selves in front of the camera and in front of our viewers. So just keep that in mind. We may not always be on schedule if we are simply not feeling it. All right,
I mean,
so yeah.
yeah,
Any
key.
key takeaways for you?
No, like I told you, you was dropping bars earlier with this
Yeah,
rhythm. I love your segments though, because even though like it break down like all the shows and what's going on in fashion and all of that other stuff, it still ties into like what's going on in today's world. And even though like we 2 weeks late for the Super Bowl,
yeah.
I just we had to talk about it because
I had
Kendrick
to.
is his big one. So for those who didn't
Absolutely.
realize, it was just so much more than just a show. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. The
Yes.
girls that get it. But
Told you I
that's
was one. I just didn't get it at first, but I was so glad that I did get it once it was broken down. And
yeah, because
again,
it made you go like, oh,
it made me rewatch it. For one, I rewatched it and then I was like, "That's exactly what he did." So, yeah. Again, shout out to Kendrick for doing his big one.
like his
I think
team.
my key takeaway was the Black History segment that you shared. Like
Mhm.
a lot of those things, like I said, we really don't get a chance or opportunity to
Right.
see those who fall under the radar, especially during Black History Month. Like I have a shirt. I think it says like Black History is celebrated 365. So when we think about that, even my shirt now, Black History is American history. We don't
Listen, if
just
y'all
celebrate it.
about Dr. Q, he gonna have a shirt, baby, for every listen. He got a shirt for every holiday,
We,
every day of the week. If your clothes split, he got a shirt for that too. Listen,
yes, we
I
don't
know.
just celebrate it in February.
Listen,
I know we
365.
were supposed to be closing, but something else
Yeah.
to focus on is the fact that Black History they gave us February, the shortest month of the year,
Yep.
to celebrate our history. Our history cannot be condensed to a month of
They-
28 days, 29 if it's a leap year.
Listen, and with this DEI stuff going on,
Okay.
he's trying to get all of it. I don't know how we didn't even talk about that today. So bump the key takeaways, okay? He's trying to, the fact that uh, the Orange Man and his administration, aka President Elon Musk, is trying to take like with the U.S. Like Trump literally gave us 2 weeks, not us, but educators, school systems. He gave them 2 weeks to make the decision on if they're going to take the DEI things out of the school system, or he's taking funding. And so
Hmm.
people think like the finances just cover little things. No, we talking about before and after school programs. We talking
Hmm.
about extracurricular activities. We talking about free and reduced lunch. We're
Hmm.
talking about field trips. We're talking about resources for the school, employees to work in the school. Like
Yes.
I feel like it's just so much, and so I hope these people stand their ground. Like I don't know how we gonna survive the next 4 years, but God willing, we gonna get through it.
Yeah. We are only a month in. If yeah, a month in now. Um, what's the day? Yeah, we're a month in. We're a month in now, and I'm like,
Yeah,
it's only
literally,
been a month, and what a month
we've
it
done
has
so
been.
much. Like
So,
they reversed the Equal Opportunity Act. Like I don't think people realize how serious that is. That is
hmm.
taking. That means we don't have to get chosen for jobs, business loans,
Hmm.
housing. If
No,
the Equal Opportunity Act don't exist, we may not be able to vote next
vote.
time.
Yeah, and that is
Like,
the plan. That is the
but this
plan.
is y'all vote.
Initially, in Project 25, there was a piece that was
Yeah,
pretty much hidden that stated he wanted to take away voting
forever
altogether, which means he will remain president
for the rest of his
for
life.
for the rest of his life.
Like, I don't
That's
know what he
stupid.
think. He better do what Elon little son said. You don't supposed to be here.
He said,
Get
listen,
out.
Elon's son, what's his, is it X? Is that his son's name?
His name is just a letter. It's
It's,
X.
yes, X. He might be on to something. He
Listen,
told
he not,
him, "You're not the
you're
president."
not the
When he
president.
told
You're
that
not
man that to
supposed
his
to be
face,
here.
and
He
Trump
didn't
had to
heard some.
act
Oh,
like
he
he
didn't heard
didn't
the
hear
grown
it.
folks talk at dinner. That's what
Trump
he
acted
said.
like he did not hear it and
He
continued to
act like
sign
he didn't
his
hear it. He
picture.
just laughed it all like, "Oh, little X told you, but you ain't supposed
He
to be here."
told you what the people are thinking. You are not my president, sir. So if he's
President's Day
able
went
to
a little
see it,
different for me Monday, you
I
know.
want to know who in X's family is talking. Because somebody
His
that
daddy.
age, it could be dad, but somebody that age, you know how like when we were younger, we would go to school and tell all our parents' business from what we hear. Listen, that's what X
Oh,
did.
I said he
X,
heard his mom
X
and
has
daddy on his
overheard
daddy.
something.
Mm-hmm.
X has overheard, and he said, "You are not my president.
You
You're
are
not
not the president.
supposed to be here.
And as much
No
as
Deborah
Trump was
Cox."
worried about, what he said, the what he said, foreigners or the immigrants are gonna take our jobs,
Yeah,
sir. Put your foot in your mouth, cause Elon Musk is an immigrant. He not
yeah,
from here, and he taking your job like you are literally his puppet. Not
yep,
that he's gonna listen to our little podcast, but baby, you the puppet.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
don't even understand like you being played, like you are playing right into his hand, and so just with all this DEI stuff, even blaming the plane crashes, like baby, I'm not taking no trips today.
Not a plane,
And
nowhere.
listen, and remember how last episode we talked about how Netflix and the entertainment always got a part of the government, like
Yeah,
the government got their own funding for entertainment.
yep.
Now here we go with Netflix, this 0 day. And what are they
Yes.
talking about? Plane crashes and what's gonna be next? The trains. Don't say
Yeah,
Netflix
please
ain't
don't.
kill you.
Please don't, because that's my at this point that's my safest way of transportation.
Or the boat.
So yeah, let's
Put me back
let's
on the boat.
now that I'm not doing.
Listen,
Not
we
getting on
want
the
to go
boat.
back to our country. I want to go back to Africa gladly, baby.
Golly, that
Uh,
is yeah. And nobody has heard. Take notice. Where's JD Vance?
Nobody
Have we
heard from this.
seen
Haven't
JD?
seen, haven't heard,
I ain't seen a post, a picture,
nothing,
a video.
nothing.
How they say it? Check on your people. Somebody check
Hmm.
on JD because I ain't seen him, and that is concerning. Now, folks will try to say, "Oh, well, we didn't see Kamala for a long period of time." You right,
She's
but she
still
was
in them
out
streets.
working. She was out
She's still
working.
in them
She had
streets.
those receipts. We ain't seen JD. So check on your people.
She's still in them streets even now though, because I remember she was trying to go talk to. I want to. Is that JD? She went to go. He didn't even try to hold her hand or shake her hand or something when he was getting sworn in.
When he was
And
getting
so
sworn.
then
Yeah.
his little son, I think somebody's son told her, "I'm sorry you didn't become the president" or something like that.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh,
And she
it's
was like,
okay.
excuse me? She was like, oh.
Mm-hmm. It's
Yeah, I
okay."
saw that. Was it
You
his
know,
son? It was
it might
somebody.
have been
Yeah, I
somebody else.
remember.
It was
Yeah.
somebody else, but I know he didn't. His little, he didn't want to shake her hand. So I have to remember we're alive. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, like I don't know how we forgot all about DEI and
Yeah.
all of that together. And I feel like that goes to mental health. They crazy.
Yeah. And that's
Check on
it.
your vote.
So
Like
check on your
everybody
people.
stay prayed up during these times. Like
Yeah.
we work together. Don't have that crabs in a barrel mentality. Like we would get so much farther in life.
hmm If we
That's
simply
just my thought.
collaborate.
Hello.
Yes.
Shout out to
All right.
Power Brunch 365.
Yeah, you caught it. I love it. Thriving together,
We be here
thriving
when we be
together.
here.
We're going to collab together. It's all
Yeah.
about collaboration over competition. We will have more information on Power Brunch 365
I
on
can't
our next episode because we got a
wait.
lot to talk about for that one. All right. So we're coming up on a good hour. We did our
We did
thing.
good.
We did our
We kept
thing.
it moving.
So
We did
we
good.
we gonna shut it down here, and again we just want to appreciate everyone for tuning in, because
Yeah.
you simply don't have to, especially with a new podcast. Like, we're still learning, we're still growing, but y'all are right there with us, and that is truly what matters the
Grown.
most. So again, we appreciate y'all, and we'll see y'all next time.
Absolutely. Bye.
Deuces.